Hanhu, and today I'm going to present the impact and consequences of ecosystem in China. Last summer vacation, I had a chance to work with Red Cross Society for a rural area development program in China, Ningbo. When I worked with rural Chinese, I was shocked by how lower life quality the rural Chinese had compared with those who live in city. And I found out that hukou system caused the main reason for them to be behind. Hukou is the residential registration system. Hukou status is assigned at birth on the basis of the mother's registration status. Those whose mother have urban status automatically acquire urban status themselves, while those whose mothers have rural status must compete for urban status through very limited channels. Without permanent urban registration status, a person is not eligible for most high-status urban jobs, even if he or she was born in a city. From the inception of the registration system, rural to urban status conversion has been very selective. To control the growth of the urban population, the government imposes a strict quota on the conversion rate between 1.5 and 2.5 per thousand persons each year. There are reasons behind the government's actions other than just wanting to be evil. What the government is trying to do now is create enough jobs in smaller cities and towns so that the big cities wouldn't be overwhelmed, which leads to all sorts of problems as industries and mines are plopped down on the land taken from the peasants without adequate compensation. However, hukou system contributes to the current problem of social inequality between the rural and urban Chinese citizens. For rural citizens, they had to go through more difficulties than those living urban based on the unequal treatment, particularly in education, medical access, and employment opportunities. Consequently, there show a significant gap in wealth such as income and assets between urban and rural residents as maintained by the hukou system. The hukou system directly impacts how Chinese citizens of different regions develop their ethnic identity and understanding of self-knowledge. My paper examines the purpose and practical consequences of hukou policy in providing fair treatment to all citizens in China. Based on the justice theory of utilitarianism, justice is about maximizing happiness and the balance of pain and pleasure. However, the hukou system in some ways abandoned rural area Chinese to further acquire their happiness based on the social inequality. Since the hukou system lasts in China for a long period, it seems impossible for Chinese government to cancel this policy. But so far, the Chinese government is trying to put more effort on improving rural citizens' education and the life qualities, as well as encourage the civil society to help the rural Chinese to gain the equal treatment. Based on the understanding of justice theory of libertarianism, which agrees that justice is about individuals having the fundamental right to do whatever they want with the things they own. The hukou system separates the fair treatment for each Chinese. All men must be equal is an Asian Chinese proverb giving the standard. People in rural areas have their own. So people in rural areas have their own rights for getting the same education, medical access, and employment opportunities. And those Chinese think the best policy is to get rid of hukou system since it creates the unfair treatment among urban and rural Chinese citizens. Chinese government is unable to give people the basic rights, respects, and freedoms, but only to control the population and improve population quality for their purpose. From the biblical theme framework, social organization and Christians focus on the development of rural area, trying to improve the facility to help and to educate the rural Chinese with economically support and spiritually influence. The Hukou system is already exists. While the government tries to come up with the best solution, the organizations like Red Cross Society takes the responsibility to build a better community for the sake of rural Chinese to gain the equal rights. In short, through my relevant framework, the Hukou system continues to maintain the program of social and economic inequality. It is hard to cancel the Hukou system, but there are many solutions for improving rural area development.